Hello student. Today in this class we will going to discuss about the president, who is the constitutional head of the government, head of the country. About him we will going to talk. So Article 52 of our constitution has created the post of president. So this particular article 52, it talks about creation of the post where president will be the head, like this. So president, he will be the constitutional head of our Indian country. So again, president, he is the first citizen. Okay, first citizen of our country is the president, whoever may be the president for that period. So that particular person who will be holding that position, he will be the uh, pre, first person of our country. So if you talk about today, now we are having Ramnath Kovind is the present president. Okay, from 2017, he is the president of our nation. So Ramnath Kovind is our first citizen of our country. So after that, president holds the executive and also commander in chief of all the three armed forces. So this particular president, he will be the head of Indian Army, he will be the head of Indian Navy and Indian Air Force. Again, a president enjoys the highest position in our country. As I told you, he is the first citizen of our country, and president enjoys the highest position in the country by the constitution. So again, a president is the custodian of all the executive powers of the nation. So whatever the executive powers the cabinet minister and prime minister are having, so he will be the custodian to them. Final signatory authority will be with the president. That we have to keep in mind. No court of law can question his conduct or prosecute him. So he is the first citizen of our nation. So no court in our India, be it a session or be it a high court or supreme court, they don't have a power to question our president. So here I have added the various precedent list. Okay, so you can go through with that. Okay, and what we have to remember for our general knowledge purpose is, first woman president of our India was Pratibha Patil. Okay, Pratibha Devi Singh Patil. She was the first woman president of our country. And so here in this particular slide we will be going to discuss about election of the president, how the president of a nation will be elected. Article 54 and Article 55 of the constitution stipulates the way of the president should be elected. These two articles talks about the president election. The president is elected by an electoral college of elected members of both the houses of parliament. So here, to elect this particular post called president of a nation, there is a electoral college, so which will be the members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and all the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the all the state. Here the members of legislative assembly, that is MLAs of every state, they are also having the power to vote the president. Okay. So here MLAs, MPs, that is Rajya Sabha members and Lok Sabha members, they form the electoral college and they elect the president post in our country. And the Supreme Court judge administers him the oath of office. So when he elects, at the time of oath, Supreme Court judge will be administering that particular ceremony of oath taking. His term of office is 5 years. Once the president elected, then the president tenure of work is 5 years. He is eligible for re-election. Again, in our Indian constitution, it gives a provision of re-election of the same person for that particular post. Okay. So he can elect once completion of his tenure. He can again re-elect. They can. Uh, uh, so when they get the votes of this particular electoral college, then they can elect for every 5 years. So they have to get the confidence of this electoral college to elect and re-elect. So there are few countries like Denmark. They will not allow for the re-eligibility of this particular post for president. Okay, once you have elected and once your tenure is finished, then the second chance will be given to the different person. But in our India, the same person can be re-elected as the president. When he goes against the constitution, he can be removed from the office by the parliament through a motion of the impeachment. So here the main role of a president is to he will be working to make sure that whatever the constitution talks, that is whether it is implementing in our country or not. Okay. He is like caretaker of the constitution. So if he goes against that particular constitution book, then the whole parliament body, they can remove the president from his particular post. Then next we'll discuss the qualifications to become a president in our India. The first qualification is he should be a citizen of India. Okay. So once citizenship in our India we get by birth itself. Okay, if you got born in our India, then automatically you will get your Indian citizenship. Again, sometimes what happens if you are a foreigner, if you are removing that foreign country citizenship and if you want to get a Indian citizenship, then in that case also India and Indian government, it allows for that. Once you get the Indian citizenship, then you can become the citizen of our country. So the condition is he or she should be a citizen of India to become the president. That is the first qualification. Second qualification is he should have completed the age of 35 years. So more than 35 years age required to become this particular president in our India. Third qualification is he should be qualified for the election as a member of Lok Sabha. Again, once he elect as the president, then he should be uh, qualify for becoming the member of Lok Sabha. Okay. So that is also one of the qualification. He should not hold any office of the profit under the government. Again, fourth uh, qualification is he should not be on a government job when he is becoming a prime minister. Then we will move towards the powers and powers of a president. Okay, what are the powers this particular position called president has? So the powers of the president can be divided in these heads: executive powers, legislative powers, judicial powers, financial powers, military powers, emergency powers, and discretionary powers. So when you talk about executive powers, it talks about all the administration is carried out in the name of the president. The president appoints the prime minister. The appointment of the prime minister of India will be done by the president of our country. Then whatever the administration work will be carried out by that government will be under the name of the president. And particular president appoints the persons to the higher post like the attorney general, then controller auditor general, judges of the Supreme Court, judges of the high courts, governors to the various states and union territories, chairmen of various bodies, members of the Finance Commission, chairman and members of the UPSC, that is the Union Public Service Commission. Election commissioners will be elected by the president. Commander in chief to the Navy, to the Air Force, all the three armed forces will be done by this particular president, and ambassadors to the different countries also be selected by the president of our India. So that is the executive power which a president enjoys. Then we will move to the next, legislative powers. So the legislative power of president is he can summon the parliament or postpone its sessions. Okay. So the postponing of the parliamentary sessions, that is the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha sessions, can be carried out by the president, and uh, he is also having the power of addressing a joint session, joint sitting of the both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So if there are any misunderstandings between Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha on a particular bill, then a president, he can call the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members jointly, and he will be the head of that particular joint session. He gives the platform to this Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members to discuss on that particular bill. So again, a bill passed by the both the houses, that is the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, finally it will be moved to the president's approval. Okay. Once he examines a bill and once he signs on that, then that particular bill becomes a law. Again, what happens, he is having a power that particular bill which will going to be in the hands of president, he can send that particular bill to re-examine. If he thinks there are any changes need to be done in that particular bill, then he can resend that particular bill to the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. Again, he can return them or withhold them for some time. Okay, ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, whatever the bills Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha they send to the president for his signature, he can hold that particular bill for certain period, maximum 15 days ತನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ. ಆಮೇಲೆ 15 days ಆದ್ಮೇಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ that particular bill automatically becomes a law. So he may also nominate 2 Anglo Indians to the Lok Sabha. So again, and 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. So president, he can nominate 2 Anglo Indians to the Lok Sabha as a Lok Sabha member and 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. So that power is also with the president. In all these functions, he acts upon the recommendations of the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. So sometimes what happens in the legislative powers, finally they say this particular president, he works like the rubber stamps in the Prime Minister and in the this Minister of Council of Ministers hand. So whatever they say, he need to listen and tilkondu. There are few people they talks about that matter. Then judicial powers. So when you talk about the judicial powers, the president of India, who is the first citizen of our nation, he is having the power to reduce the term of imprisonment, okay, which is given by the various courts of our country, okay, or to the criminals, or he is having the power to cancel that particular capital punishment whatever given to that particular citizens. So he is having the power. He can also cancel the life imprisonment or death sentences which will be given to the criminals. If president thinks he has okay, so what we have to remember is that particular canceling or reducing the imprisonment is also one of the power which our president has. Next, we'll move towards the financial powers. Okay. The finance bill cannot be introduced in the Lok Sabha without the permission of the president. So whatever the finance bill, whatever the what we say, whatever the works the government want to carry out in a country, so they come up with the financial bill with the help of uh, finance minister. So that particular bill which they are introducing in the Lok Sabha, so that can be, for that we need permission of the president. Okay, until and unless the president gives his permission, so that cannot be introduced the finance bill. So whatever theory tells, a finance bill cannot be introduced in the Lok Sabha without the permission of the president. To introduce that bill in the Lok Sabha, the government, they need a permission of the president. Until and unless the president signs on that particular bill, then only they can introduce that particular bill. They can present it in the Lok Sabha. So that is about this financial powers. And next one is the military powers. As I told you, the president is the commander in chief of the all the armed forces. He appoints the chiefs of the army, chiefs of the navy, chiefs of the air force. Okay, so he is having the power of appointing all these uh, army heads. And whatever these particular army heads wants to take the final decision on the whether to do a war against that country or not, that will be, they have to take the permission from our president. Then he has a few of the emergency powers, like national emergency power, that is article 352, it talks about that. And the state emergency power, which talks in the article 356. And financial emergency. Okay, so that is article 360, it talks about that. Okay, so this imposing the emergencies in a country, that is also be in the hand of the president. Until and unless president gives the permission for imposing this emergency, no one can impose that one. So these are what. Okay, again, last thing is discretionary powers. The president can exercise certain powers without waiting for the approval of the union cabinet. They are, he may invite the leader of any party to form the government. Okay, when no single party has got a majority after an election. Okay, so this one of the discretionary power of the president is when the election happens, when the MP election happens, when in a case no party get a majority, okay, to form the government, then this particular president, he can call a leader and he can ask him to form a government. Okay, after forming the government, he has to show the numbers with him, okay, whatever he needs. So that is one of the discretionary powers he has. Then when the parliament approves a bill and sends to him for approval, he may return the bill or he can send it return back to for the reconsideration. As I told you, when they both the houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, approves the bill, then it directly moves to the president. A president, he can sign on that, and that becomes a law. Or else he is having a discretionary power that he can resend that particular bill to the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So he can tell that you so see that there might be a few changes, work on that. Okay, he can suggest few changes in that. He can just suggest on that. It is again left to the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha members whether they want to make a changes or not. Okay, again, this parliament members, that is Rajya Sabha member and Lok Sabha member, they can directly once again they can send it to the president, okay, without making the changes. So again, when they send it second time, president, he has to sign on that, and that becomes a particular law. Or else he can hold that particular bill for a certain period. Okay, he will be having his own time, 14 to 15 days time रहता. So up to that he can hold that particular file with him. That is also one of the power with the president. And he may dissolve the Lok Sabha. So dissolving the Lok Sabha is also one of the power of this particular president. So in this particular class, we have talked about the president, how he will be elected, what is needed to become the president, and what are the powers he enjoys in our country. In next class, we will be discussing about the prime minister, guys. Till then, take care. Bye.